practice. Ready?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Let's go.
Emotional mastery. What is it? What does it mean? Where does it come from? Let us begin. One thing we have to understand is emotions have their purpose. Emotions have their place in our life. Burnout is not a life sentence. Burnout is a consequence of emotion override. And there's skills you can develop to know what your system needs and how to keep this sustainable. One of those is emotional intelligence, popularized by Daniel Foreman. Emotional intelligence is, as Google describes it, the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle the interpersonal relationships judiciously, and empathetically. Emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional access. In other words, understanding and captivating the control of your thoughts, emotions, actions, and communication with others. Quite simple, right? But where does this all begin? Most people in childhood weren't taught about emotions and how to deal with them and what to even use them for, or not to get the results that they want in this world. And only some people have a degree of emotional literacy. But by mastering your emotional system, it leads to peace of mind, physical and mental health, fulfilling relationships, productivity, creativity, and creating your full potential. If you're trying to achieve work-life balance, grow a business, manage staff, better your life, and you aren't actively engaged in rewiring your emotional neurology, it's inevitable that you will eventually hit a wall. At some point, you may be struggling with survival anxiety, people pleasing, information deficits, or just limiting contexts. So if you're trying to change that, and you don't know how your subconscious emotional patterns operate, and you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? It's by default. Most of us arrive to adulthood doing the emotional equivalent of standing on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. You may be moving forward, but there's a lot of wasted energy and resistance, wearing down the parts. Emotional intelligence brings all those parts into alignment, reducing the friction, increasing both speed and control. And all it really is a set of fundamental skills. There's this wonderful quote that describes it best. You get good at it by doing it. Badly at first, with a lot of frustration and failure, and then in a mediocre way. And finally, with enough practice, you become graceful and highly effective. Understanding emotions is as much as the body and the nervous system as it is the brain or the mind. Performance, decision-making, motivation, and cognitive sharpness are all related as much to the body as the brain. So if you don't have a good grip of what's going on in both your mind and your body, it's impossible to perform at a consistently high level over the long term. As said earlier, Daniel Gorman refers to emotional intelligence as the following. The keys of emotional intelligence is awareness, regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Number 1. Awareness is the ability to know what you're feeling. Stressed, sad, happy. Number 2. Regulation is the ability to manage the intensity of what you're feeling. Chunking things down. Is it following all in line or taking breaks? Number 3. Motivation. This is the ability to manage both your mind and body to produce results. So who do you think you are? Number 4. Empathy. This is the ability to know what other people are thinking. And lastly, number 6. Social skills. This is influencing the emotions of other people. Body language. Freud, the father of psychology, was one of the first psychologists to observe that children will suppress their authentic self in order to get love and approval from their carers. How can you tell if you're suppressing your authentic self? I'm going to leave this little frame here for you to screenshot and come back to. There's fear. What you were saying, how it will come across. There's holding back. Worry what other people think. There's procrastination, isolation, contradicting thinking, negative thinking, and so much more. But there's also the signs in honoring your authentic self. There's faith, expressing, moving forward, focusing on what you think about you and loving yourself, taking positive and consistent action, expansive thinking, positive thinking, being energetically light. That list I mentioned, what can you change? How can you think differently? What can you improve within your life and yourself? I know you can. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you learned something new about yourself, about life. My name is Kanchefu. If you did, subscribe if you're new, like the video, share it, and comment emotion to reaffirm that belief within yourself. I'll see you next week.
So the question is, are you happy?
Am I happy? Well, happiness is an interesting thing. As my mother always says, it's not about being happy, it's about being content. And I can honestly say that, yeah, I'm content most of the time.